Hi everyone, so today I am doing a nice day look on my mom. I'm going to start with some MAC Strobe cream and I'm going to apply this with my buffer brush all over her face just to really hydrate the skin before we start and to give it a bit of a glow. As we get older our skin tends to lack that sheen, so this is really nice underneath our foundation to make the skin look really healthy. Next I'm going in with some Chanel foundation. I'll leave the shade underneath. I'm just checking the colour here first off, and then I'm going to really well buff it in all over her face. Um, I just wanted to have a nice even coverage to the skin, but not anything too heavy, because I feel when you're older as well, foundations that are too heavy can look very heavy. I'm going in with an extra little bit of foundation here just on her cheeks where I feel she might need a little bit more coverage, but I'm not bringing it all over the face, just in the little areas where I feel we need it. So once I have my base nice and even, I'm going to go in with some concealing work, and then she was looking at her dark circles there. So I'm going in with some concealer now. She's just realised she's on camera again. Anyway, we are going to go in with some concealer next. Or sorry, actually no, I'm going in with some eye cream first. So this is the No7 Lift Luminate, and I always use this on my older clients before I go in with my concealer, just to give a little bit more slide to that area because it tends to be quite dry, and also it's going to help the concealer sit better and stop it from caking. For my concealer then, I'm using the Clarins 01 in the Instant Smooth, and I'm just applying a really small amount right onto where the dark circle ends, and then I'm going to nicely buff it in and just pat it in up to her eyelid. Now, one thing when you're a little bit older, when you have fine lines or if you have any deep set wrinkles or anything like that, it's really, really important to really buff the concealer into those areas so that you're not kind of gliding over them and then highlighting the little sort of crevices within the skin. So you'll see that I'm kind of lifting up her brow a little bit there to stretch the skin so that I can really work the concealer in. It's the only time that you'll see me sort of using a little circular motion to do it rather than the patting motion. And I promise this will make a big difference if you do have fine lines or wrinkles in this area. So you can see the difference already before I've blended in the other side as well there. So again, I'm starting with my patting motion, but I will go in with little circular motions again. Next, I'm using some Mercier Under Eye Loose Powder just to set that. And again, I'm using a really, really tiny amount just so that I can set the concealer in place, but without it looking like it has any powder on it or looking heavy. Again, just pat it in really nice and lightly. So next, I'm going on to her brows. So we're just going with a nice day look today. So I'm just going to define them a little bit and give them a bit more shape, just using a nice eyeshadow powder. I find this nicer on older skins than using pencils because I feel the pencils can be a little bit harsh. So just filling them in nice and naturally, and always brushing through as well to make sure we have a really nice natural finish. So you can see the difference the eyebrows make. It's amazing the way they frame the face. She's checking my work the whole time along, making sure I'm doing a good job. So next I'm going in with some bronzer, and I'm using the Chanel bronzer, and you'll see here that I'm putting it right onto her cheek rather than underneath the cheekbone, because as we get older as well, our faces tend to kind of sink in a little bit, and if you put it underneath the cheekbone you can end up making yourself look older. And then I'm popping on a little bit of nice fresh pink blush. This is Ecstasy from Charlotte Tilbury, just on the apples of her cheeks. So it gives a really nice, just a lovely pretty glow. Then I'm going in with MAC Hush on top of her cheekbones to give a nice sheen. And just, again, it's like Botox in a pot is what I always say, because it just bounces the light away in such a nice way that it makes your skin look really even and supple and just really, really healthy. So I'm just going to take her hair down for her so I'm not wrecking it before I do the eyes. And I'm going in with my Chanel palette. So I'm using this really nice, light, iridescent sort of shimmery pink colour on the inside. And the way the Chanel shadows kind of set is a real sheen rather than a glitter, so it's really nice, as you can see there, to really brighten up the inside of her eyes, which again, I don't know what I've told her there that she's so shocked by, but I'm just brightening up that whole inner area because again, as we get older our lids tend to sink down on the outside. Then I'm putting a little bit of the lighter grey colour just with my pencil brush in the corner, and I tend to use the pencil brush for older ladies as well, just because the area can be quite sunken, so you want that little bit more detail. So just literally into the corner to give a bit of a shadow in there, and it's going to help to lift the eye up as well. Really nice and gently. And you see I'm kind of pulling the lid up again as well so that we get nicely into the crease, because sometimes the skin can overhang there a little bit, so you need to just lift it up slightly for yourself when you're applying the eyeshadow. And we're going to do the same on the other side. Then for her lash line, I am going to put in, I don't know what we were talking about. I have the Charlotte Tilbury Brown Pencil. So I'm just going to scribble this into her upper lash line. Just, you don't have to be neat or anything like that. It's just to thicken up the lash line. And if you find that you've gone too high, just use your finger to smudge it out and it'll look perfect. But this again just gives a little bit of lift. I'm only putting it on the outsides of her lid. I'm not going all the way in. And then I'm putting a small bit in the midsection underneath her eye as well, like I do myself sometimes, to really open the eye up. And then I'm going in with my pencil brush again, just to blend that out so it doesn't look harsh at all. Next, we're going to put on a little bit of mascara. So I'm using the YSL mascara here. And again, I'm just going on the bottom lashes where I've put that little bit of pencil, and then I put a really good coat on top. For the lips then, I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Stoned Rose Pencil. This is Pillow Talk. And I'm just going to outline her lips slightly because again, as we get older, we tend to have little fine lines around our lips which can allow the lipstick to bleed. So you kind of really need a pencil for this. And then I'm putting on the Charlotte Tilbury Stoned Rose lipstick. So this is just a really nice, easy day look. Just making sure everything's blended. And you can see how fresh her skin looks there again. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comments below.